Hi, I'm Marsh from StrataGames, so today we're playing some more Red Rally. We have a couple new cards to try from the Ninja Turtles set, most notably Raphael. Tough Turtle is a 1/3 for 1 in a red. Whenever another creature you control enters, it deals 1 damage to your opponent. This is a legendary creature, so it doesn't die to cast down. And with all the various creatures that we are putting into play in this deck, feels like a nice way to just deal a lot of damage and have a little bit more reach if maybe the board gets clogged up. I'm also trying out Mechanized Ninja Cavalry. This is 2 mana for 2 1/1s, similar to a Rally at the Hornburg or something like that. It doesn't give haste, so it's probably worse than them, and there might be a better card to play. This probably has better applications in more of a Glint Hawk or Affinity deck or something. But I figured, first of all, it's a new card, let's try it out. And these being artifacts actually can be relevant. Maybe just making your Galvanic Blast a little more consistently for damage could be pretty strong, so I figured we'd give that a try. Otherwise, it's pretty standard with our Burning Tree Emissaries, Rally at the Hornburg, Clockwork Percussionist, Goblin Tomb Raider, Bushwhacker, and Epicure. Playing 4 Lightning Bolts, 4 Galvanic Blasts, 4 Synths, 4 Great Furnace, and 14 Mountains. Sideboard, we have 2 Searing Blaze, 3 Cast on the Fire, 4 Pyroblast, 2 End the Festivities, and 4 Relics of Progenitus. So let's take this for a league and see how we do. Thanks to Card Market for sponsoring this video. I've written a comprehensive guide on how to play White Weenie in Pauper, including my ideal stock list, over 30 sideboard matchups, and a sideboard cheat sheet, which gives you a very easy snapshot view and what to sideboard for every single matchup. I also have guides for Black Sack and Esper Affinity. Each guide is only $15, and if you buy one, you will get all future updates that I ever make to that guide for free. I also offer coaching, so if you're interested in upping your Pauper game for any of the decks that I'm very proficient in, or if you're interested in having me play your deck in a future video, you can do a deck donation, which is the only way you'll ever see me playing Cycle Storm or Flickertron. We're on the play here. It's a 1-lander, but we do have Goblin Tomb Raider into Percussionist. Then we have 3 1/1 for 2 plus Raphael. I think we're going to keep it. If we don't hit another land, we're probably going to lose, but we do have a pretty aggressive start. And hopefully we hit a mountain here. Seat of the Synod and Tormod's Crypt. I'm already going to assume we're against some sort of affinity deck, obviously, but specifically playing the new Utrom Monitor, I would assume. I'm going to play Synth. We would really like to hit that land drop. And if we don't, at least we're 1 card closer to it. Ooh, Sewer Valence Cam, I guess. Maybe it's just the Cam combo. That is annoying, gaining him 2 life here, especially when we're on 1 land. Vault of Whispers, and they have a Steel Fin Whale. Well, if they just have the combo here, we're going to die pretty fast, but we'll play a Percussionist and attack, pass the turn. Cycle a Lorien for an island, play a Thoughtcast. Another Tormod's Crypt. Could have attacked first for 3 and then Tormod's to untap. We do get our mountain. Obviously, I could just play a Rally, start attacking with a bunch of 1/1s. Every turn we make more 1/1s. I mean, they eat the Tomb Raider. I think we're going to take the turn to play Raphael, but first we can probably get in with this Percussionist for 1. Start pinging for a couple every single turn as we play our creatures. They're playing Reverse Engineer. Draw 3, but improvise. So they paid 2 mana for it. They attack with the Whale. I assume they're going to refurb or something to untap it. I'll just have Vault of Whispers. Fair enough. Pass the turn. I think we're just going to rally, ping for 2, and attack with everybody except for Raphael. He's going to continue dealing 2 damage every single turn just by being around. Yeah, we lose our Tomb Raider, but we hit for 5. Next turn we get to hit for another 5 or even more. They do have a Black Mage's Rod, which means that's their outlet for the combo. So if they just have the Helix or a Banishing Knack, they are going to have the combo because this returns a non-land permanent to its owner's hand by tapping, so they untap, return a Tormod's Crypt, play it, and then they just cast it a million times and we're going to die. We do get Cast on the Fire and Pyroblasts in place of just some various cards. Alright, here we have 2 lands. I'm not sure we would have quite been fast enough if we had our lands from the beginning, but it would have been close, I think. They mulligan to 6. We'll hit him with the Percussionist. They play a tap land. I'm pretty sure we're just supposed to take that away. It resets, it's basically like a time walk, but also if they don't have another land, we just might win the game immediately. And it looks like they don't. Swing for 1. I mean, keeping a 1-lander seems rough, but what are they going to do? Goblin Bushwhacker, and then Bushwhacker next turn will just win the game. All right. Cast on the Fire is pretty good still. Here we have a 1-lander. A lot of things to cast with it, but I think we're going to mulligan. All right, 2 lands. I want the Galvanic so I can kill a Whale, but currently I only have 1 artifact. So I think I am going to put that back. Maybe since we're playing the Mechanized Cavalries, that's specifically a reason I can keep it, but we'll swing at the Tomb Raider. Pass. They have a Black Mage's Rod. I could just bolt this guy, play a Percussionist. I think we'll swing. I'm happy with a trade. Happy enough with a trade anyway. And then I'll play Raphael. They shouldn't be able to combo next turn, I don't think. Okay, they do just trade. That's fine. Obviously, we lose a good attacker, but we make it harder for them to combo. Play a seat and Ethereum spinner. That we're definitely going to bolt. It's going to make too many guys. Rally at the Hornburg. Trigger, they take 2. Then we attack for 3. Play an Aquifer and they just pass. Well, I'm going to play Percussionist. They Hydroblast Raphael. So we'll just swing for 3. Play a Mountain and pass. There's the Whale. They're going to equip it with the Rod. We're going to rally. Swing with the team and hope they block and I can bolt the Whale just so we don't lose to the combo. Obviously holding the bolt would make it so we could have more of a guaranteed win next turn, but if they just had the combo, which is only a card or 2, they could have just killed us. Pentad Prism. They got 1 card in hand. We get a Mountain, so we'll swing for 4. Pass the turn to them. Play an island, and they have a Banishing Knack, so I think we're going to get there. Alright, we're on the play. Obviously not keeping that one. This one is decent. Kiva put back a Mountain. Play a Great Furnace and a Percussionist. Swing for 1 and pass. Against potentially the Mirror or just the Madness matchup. I'm going to rally here. Couple reasons for that. One, if I save the Cavalry for later, maybe I can Cavalry and then Galvanic Blast on the same turn, ensuring we can deal 4. But also, if I somehow this Cavalry sticks in my hand for a couple of turns and I get some lands, I might want to cast a Bushwhacker at the same time as it, in which case I would like to give haste to the creatures that don't already have haste. That said, here it looks like we're probably just going to swing for 2 and play the Cavalry, because that's what we got. And then we have 10 burn damage in hand. So we're looking pretty good. They're going to attack. So they think they can race. Then again, I guess they don't know we have 10 burn in hand. That makes sense. Faithless Looting. I guess if they have a couple Fiery Tempers here, we could be in some danger as well. There's the 2 Fiery Tempers. We get a Mountain. Unfortunately, we're 1 damage short here. If we had another Galvanic Blast, this would be lethal. So we're going to hope they don't kill us. I am going to bolt the Snacker and do what we can to not die. Cracking a Blood Token right away for Snacker, not a bad sign for us, because it means they're unlikely to Gutter Snipe and just kill us. Dwarven Mine, that's an interesting one to be playing. Obviously great when you can just get a free 1/1, as they just did, but obviously it can be a tap land, which can be rough. Okay, so they're going to block, take 3. So if I bolt here, I am losing the ability to just win on our next turn. Am I going to take 7 damage from their 3 mana? I guess the question is, am I going to take 7 damage when I wouldn't be taking 9 damage? Yeah, they could just have Bolt Fire Blast. I think I gotta bolt this. Flashback Faithless Looting. I'm going to Galvanic them, hoping that we draw like a Bushwhacker or something. We do not. Well, I'll swing, because if they didn't block, I can kill them, but I'm sure they will. Still 1 damage short, because we spent that bolt on the Snacker, which could have been a mistake. We're going to pass and hope we're not dead again. And once again, I feel like I have to bolt a Snacker. Otherwise, we go to 5. They have 5 cards in hand. The chances they can kill us are so high. If we go to 7, we might survive. And the chances that we draw something that deals a damage are pretty high. They play Mountain, Keswick Flame Breather, grab the prize, discarding a Robbery. We go to 4. So we need them to whiff, and then we also need to draw some direct damage. Lava Dart's not a whiff, unfortunately. We were just going to draw land, so that's pretty unfortunate, seeing as we were ahead most of the time. And we were on the play, so it's a bit unfortunate that we lost that one. Searing Blaze definitely feels good. Relic is the only other thing. I'm not sure we want to do Relic, especially on the play. We were just 1 damage short for most of that. I'm not sure Raphael is at its best here, because it just dies to any number of bolts, potentially before we deal any damage, whereas all these other guys are like at least giving us 2/1/1, so I actually think we're going to cut him this time. Not dodging any cast downs in this matchup. All right, we have honestly a really awkward, just about as awkward as you can get, 2-lander. Synth we can't play for a couple turns to get any value out of. Bushwhacker we don't have many creatures for. Burning Tree doesn't let us Bushwhacker after. I mean, I don't really feel like this is a matchup where I want to go down any cards, but I'm not super happy about this hand. Like, maybe I should just bolt them right out the gate. Another bolt. I think we will Burning Tree into probably just a Lightning Bolt. Not being super happy about it. Obviously a Rally or even a Mechanized Cavalry would have been much better here. They're going to bolt the Emissary. They cast into fire our land. Luckily we don't care too much about that because we just drew another one. I could Synth. If I don't hit a 1-drop, I whiff. But Bushwhacker just doesn't feel like the play, so I'm going to just do this. We hit a land. That's, I mean, better than hitting a 2-drop, I suppose. They go for a robbery, discarding a Faithless Looting. Now we get a rally, which I suppose we'll use. It's susceptible to like an End the Festivities, but I don't have the mana yet to ensure doing it and Bushwhacker in the same turn, so we're just going to go for it. I think we're going to use a Bolt here. We're going to hope they're not playing like Electrickery when I Bushwhacker here, or I could just Synth. Bushwhacker hits them to 6 and kind of forces them to use, unless they have Electrickery, which is really bad for us. But if they don't, then it forces them to use like full lightning bolts. I guess Lava Dart they have. I forgot about that. Lava Dart and stuff on our guys. Yeah, there's a Dart on the Bushwhacker and a Cast into the Fire. Well, maybe doing the Synth would have been better. That is unfortunate. They're going to Faithless Looting, discarding double Snacker. Burning Tree Emissary. We get to do that into Synth, so that's decent. Into Tomb Raider when we just lost our artifact is a little annoying, but overall, I mean, this is a pretty decent board that we have. They're going to bolt one of them down, though. Bolt another one. I mean, they're low on cards, but they're about to get Snackers back, and we are also low on cards and stuff, so grab the prize with a Fiery Temper. Yeah, now we have nothing, and they have 2 Snackers and 2 cards, so pretty bad spot for us. Synth is our best draw. Fortunately, we got a Mountain. They plot a robbery. We get a Bushwhacker. I could wait at least one turn for the Bushwhacker, because if we get like Mechanized Cavalry, it could be pretty good. But if this hits for 4 damage over the course of the next 3 turns, and I'm lucky enough to draw like a Bolt and a Galvanic, that could be lethal, like right before they can kill us, potentially. I mean, we're not in a great spot, but there's another Looting, Fiery Temper to the face. We draw Mountain. And they have the Lava Dart. We'll take 4. Flashback Looting, Epicure, and 2 Lava Darts from the grave. We're going to play an Epicure. Looks like we're against Grixis or Jund. Grixis it is. Blood Fountain. So playing Rally now obviously gives us 2 damage this turn. Raphael gives us 2 damage next turn, plus it gets to attack. So, I mean, we're here to play Raphael. We're going to do that first. But obviously, if it just dies to a Galvanic, we're going to miss out on some damage. They Thoughtcast, and they have Krark right away. They did miss their land drop, which is something. They're probably not going to kill Raphael because they'd have to sack 3 things. I probably want to force them to sacrifice something before they can give a Death Touch. So we're just going to go for the rally. We still get 2 damage even if they kill the board. I assume they'll probably chump Raphael and sack a blood token here. Or they could take 4 if they have Death Touch in hand maybe, which is what they decide to do. Play a Great Furnace and pass. Play a Wellspring. Gonna ditch a Mountain here since we have quite a few lands. Another Bushwhacker. It'd be real good if we didn't have to worry about what they have going on. I think we're just gonna attack. I mean, I guess we'll start with a Synth. Tomb Raider. I'm just going to swing, though. If I play Tomb Raider, it's like, oh, maybe they want to sacrifice 1 more artifact. Maybe they want to sacrifice 2 more artifacts. They get all the way up there, which is good for us if they sack a bunch of artifacts, but I'd rather they do it later. They just take 4, so I'll play Tomb Raider. I don't think I'm going to play anything else. I could play Rally and like ping them for 2. Obviously, we throw away the creatures, but also if they have Toxin Analysis, they're going to gain that life right back, which is kind of what I'm expecting. Yep, that's really the only reason they would have not popped it at all thus far, so they gained 6. Pretty annoying. I mean, we do have, assuming they don't have another Krark or anything, we do have Rally Bushwhacker to follow up, which is not bad. Well, they just have multiple Enforcers. That's pretty unfortunate. So, not really a reason to rally here. I mean, Burning Tree, Rally, Bushwhacker, they block 2, take 4. I don't think that feels very good. So I think we're going to crack Synth here, get a Mountain. I think I'm going to rally and then just pass, and then next turn I can double Bushwhacker. If they have the Krark, this is, I mean, maybe it's a little worse, but also, like, they can just hold the Krark up for when. Like, if I get a Bolt and I can kill the Krark before using the rally, maybe it's better, but that doesn't seem like it's probably going to happen. They're just going to attack. I mean, we're going to take it. I kind of assume that means they either have a Reckoner's Bargain or potentially another Krark with Death Touch. Black Mage's Rod, and another Black Mage's Rod. Well, that was not quite what I was expecting. Mechanized Cavalry, so I wish I had another land and I could play all of this. So if I play Cavalry and Bushwhacker, they block here, and then they have 10 damage that they take. If I double Bushwhacker, they block, and they take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 1 more damage, although they actually could... No, they're going to have to lose the heroes both ways. So 1 more damage, but then we don't have another Bushwhacker in hand, which is probably worse. So I think we do this with the Bushwhacker, and we have to attack with everything. Oh, wait. What if I just played the other Bushwhacker for just 1 mana? Okay, it still wouldn't have been lethal. I was thinking I missed lethal. They would put him to 1. I don't know. I die to a Galvanic Blast here, but I have to attack with everything, otherwise they keep a Black Mage's Rod, and I probably just die to them casting 3 random spells anyway. I think here I do play a Bushwhacker as a blocker, so that I don't die to just 1 Galvanic, I have to die to, like, 2. They have a Refurb, draw a card. Alright, we got a Bushwhacker. I don't think there's much thinking to do. I'd probably just kick it and attack. Block, block, block. They're taking 8. That means if they have a Toxin Analysis on a Mirror Enforcer, that doesn't keep them alive. A Reckoner's Bargain would, but it at least forces them to sacrifice their guy. And we really don't have another option. This is also 5 damage they weren't necessarily anticipating, so it might catch them off guard and get there. They block 3 of the Bushwhackers. And they have a bargain on an Enforcer, so they're going to go to 2. I mean, if they draw 2 Galvanics, we're going to die. There's a few ways we die for sure. Refurb. Also, if we just draw nothing, they could potentially stabilize with just 1 more creature or removal spell. That would be unfortunate. Or a Krark. So now we just have to draw a Bolt, and they need to have not any life gain. Attack with the Enforcer. We draw an Epicure. I mean, it deals them 1 damage. It gives us a blocker for the Enforcer. They sack the Black Mage's Rod. We've used all of our lands in a single turn, so there's no like, oh, I could have kept a land around to pitch here. I mean, I could have, but then I wouldn't have played like the Bushwhacker as the blocker that 1 turn. I don't know, which maybe I didn't need to. They have a Fanatical Offering. They go to 1. Thoughtcast. They're going to attack with the Enforcer. They're going to attack with both. I mean, they don't have a Black Mage's Rod. They sacked them both. So unless they play 1 and then cast anything and ping us, I feel like I should keep this around, because if we get like a Bushwhacker, I assume if they're tagging like this, they must have either way to kill us, or if we don't block, or another blocker. But then if we get like a Rally, it would be better. I mean, I think we just take it. And if they have a Black Mage's Rod plus a spell to cast, yeah. Okay, they have Toxin. They're at 5, so we need Galvanic Blast. Lightning Bolt doesn't do it, so I could pass Block Enforcer, Bolt the Refurb, and maybe try to wait another turn, but I'm pretty sure I should just go for a Galvanic Blast here, because waiting another turn is just 1 more card draw anyway. I guess 2 card draws maybe, but then I need more than just a Galvanic. Yeah, we gotta just draw for a Galvanic here. And if we don't get it, then we die. They did get a lot of Krarks there, I must say. 3 Cast in the Fire. I feel like we cut some creatures here because creatures die to Krark, and these don't have haste by themselves, so I think they're the worst ones. Well, we have Burning Tree into Cast Down, or Cast in the Fire is so good, but we don't reliably have that. I think we got a mulligan. We don't even have like a turn 1. What's his face? The Tomb Raider with haste. This one's not amazing, but we have Cast in the Fire. I don't really want to go to 5 cards. Hopefully Cast will just win us the game like it did in match 1. They have another bridge. That's not really fair. And we've drawn 2 more lands after bottoming 1. Perfect. They're going to refurb. We'll discard a mountain. We draw a mountain. Well, I'm going to keep their affinity count low and keep our creature count high. I gotta say, 7 mountains and 10 cards, though. Pretty unreasonable. They do get a... Oh, sorry, 8 and 11. They do get a Krark. Not going to use it for a little while, I assume. Unexpected Fangs. Get to attack for 2. Well, we draw the Galvanic, I guess. Attack for 2. Then I'll kill this guy. See if they want to sack a land. I doubt it. I mean, it would leave us both with nothing, but any lands they draw, they might be able to come back. But they haven't done that much on 2 mana anyway. It feels like they probably need to get to 3 or 4 to really start making something happen. Yeah, they let it go. They also just have another Krark. Oh my god. 9 lands in 13 cards in an 18 land deck. It's crazy. I'm going to keep playing my lands because if we get a synth, the mana can actually be relevant. That said, I'm going to keep sandbagging 1 land, so if I get a Valdaran Epicure, I can draw a new card. But this is rich. They find a Mistvault Bridge, attack for 1. We get an Epicure. I would play Epicure pre-combat, discard our card in case we get like a Bushwhacker, except for the fact that they have a Krark, obviously. So I'll do this post-combat. 2 soldiers is not enough pressure to force them to use this anytime soon, so I am just going to play another guy, even if it means they get a little more value with their Krark. And I will discard my mountain, see if we get like something I want to play. I don't think I'm going to play Raph right now. We wouldn't get any immediate value, and it kind of feels like they have a Toxin Analysis that they're just waiting to use to gain a bunch of life. Of course, they're probably now deciding if they want to like Fanatical Offering a land here, or sack a land to the Krark and then Fanatical Offering the Krark. It's a tough call for sure. Or just if they want a Toxin, there you go. Toxin the Krark. 2 mana Thoughtcast. Still no land drop. I mean, we'll play Raphael and we'll pass the turn. He dies to a Galvanic here, I assume. Yep. Another 2-mana Thoughtcast. But they hit the land drop. We get a couple 1/1s. They Galvanic Blast down a token. Interesting. Blood Fountain. So we're going to see Enforcers now. Maybe not if they're cracking their blood token. Discarding a Reckoner's Bargain? That seems crazy. I guess if their hand's just flooded with card draw, but like the one that gains life. I mean, I guess they're at 13. They don't really need life. They're doing just fine, unfortunately. Burning Tree Emissary. Swing for 1. They're going to Hydroblast it. And we'll play a 2/2. Bargain the Wellspring to gain 2 life. Draw 3. I mean, I can't imagine winning this one at this point. I Galvanic Blast the Refurb, I guess, and then it comes back to the Blood Fountain. I don't know. They're just going to Blue Blast that. Interesting use of that. Play Munitions. We get a Bushwhacker. I mean, that's what whatever it was, 9 and 13 lands to spells is going to do to you. All right, we are on the play here. Let's see if we can make this work. Start with the Percussionist, attack for 1, and pass. They just play an island, pass. So I could Rally. Rally gets Spell Pierced and Mechanized Cavalry doesn't. Yeah, I kind of think that's a reason to go for the Cavalry. Of course, I could also Epicure and Percussionist. Those don't get Spell Pierced either. But I'd rather keep the 1-drops for if I draw a Mountain here, then I can do a 2-drop and a 1-drop. They just play an island. We do get a Mountain. So I'll play a Percussionist, try to bait a counter spell. Oh, well, fair enough. If it's a Spell Stutter, it's a worse to bait because I could have just played a 2-drop, but I guess Bushwhacker gets eaten by a Spell Stutter as a 1-drop, so I think I might just do that here. They either have to trade or take 8. They still take 6 even if they do trade. And then Rally can't be Spell Stuttered if they pick this one up or if they had traded. Now if they just leave it around, it can be, but we're already in a pretty good spot here. Cycle a Lorien for an island. I assume that means they're probably Dimir. Mono Blue doesn't usually play Lorien. They do attack. That seems ambitious. Moonsark a Hacker, but they only have 1 mana. It could be like a Brine Barrow if they are more mono blue-ish, but they play a Fairy Seer. Raphael. So I want to rally at the Hornburg, but I kind of want to get the Raphael value. I guess I didn't need to play him pre-combat, but he blocks Ninja nicely. He doesn't die to cast down, and he deals some extra damage when we resolve these other things. So they're at 5. Play another island. And since they blocked with the Fairy Seer, Spell Stutter doesn't necessarily counter Rally now. We also get a Bolt, so we're in a pretty good spot. If they just hard counter, that's fine. I get to attack, and then if they have to flash and Spell Stutter, I just bolt them and I win. I mean, they can block 2 of these, but they're going to be taking 3 damage. All right, blue-black Fairies. I like Pyros and potentially Cast into the Fire. I prefer these because they're instant speed as opposed to the End of Festivities. Although Searing Blaze is actually not bad either because they might also be playing like Augur of Bolas. They're playing Hacker, which means they're probably more of the tempo version, which means not Augur, so actually more 1 toughness stuff means these are probably fine. Raphael's probably really good here because they're going to cut cast downs anyway and snuff outs because they're not very good here, in which case this isn't going to die to any of their board wipes. So definitely a good one to keep in and try to get around counter spells with. We'll keep this one. 1-drop, 2-drop. Would love a Rally, but we'll see. They start with a Fairy Seer. Could just Galvanic that. Scry 2 to the bottom. I think we will. They scry 2 to the bottom. They might be aggressively looking for lands, meaning a Moonsark Hacker would give them an additional draw. They have a Lorien revealed, so maybe that's not the case. They just reveal an island, so I assume they have, Miscreant to play. But also it makes it so that they couldn't Spell Stutter a 2-drop here, which feels pretty good. Cast in the Fire is nice as far as a 2-drop I could play with a Burning Tree Emissary, but I don't actually want to do that since they only have 1 Miscreant, so I think we just play Epicure. And I guess I'll discard this Mountain with the Blood. Alright, we draw another Mountain, so I'm not too upset about that. If we didn't hit mountains, like only 2 mana could be rough, but we're fine for now. Fairy Seer. 1 to the top, 1 to the bottom. They swing for 1. They do have the Hacker. Draw a land. They don't replay the Miscreant, so that means they could have a Pyroblast or Hydroblast, their version of it. So I don't necessarily want to cast these into the fire. I'm going to Synth, and if they take the bait there, then I can cast their guys into the fire. If not, I can Burning Tree Emissary, and if they don't counter this, then I could cast these into the fire, and if they do counter that, it's fine because I'm so up on mana. They understandably do just counter that. They have 1 Miscreant in hand. I guess we'll attack for 2 and leave back a guy for the Hacker. They could be a mono blue Fairies that just is playing Lorien revealed, I suppose. We take a damage, play a Fairy Miscreant, and pass. Alright, we're going to kick a Bushwhacker. If they have a Spell Stutter, I can't actually stop it because this is a 1-drop, but I could still just cast in the fire 2 of their guys. They don't counter that. They could have a Dispel for this, but I think we want to try to clear their guys. They have a Hydro. They just didn't care about the Bushwhacker, I suppose. Fair enough. We will attack here, and if they want to trade, that's fine. Another Hydroblast. All right. They take 2. Swing with the Flyers. We get a Pyro. I'll crack the Synth. We get a Galvanic Blast. I'll try using that on the Hacker, just so I don't have to worry about the ground anymore. Swing for 2. They play an island. Swing for 2. Another Pyro. Well, now we're in just a very good spot. Even if they have a counter spell, we have 2 of our own. Hit for 9 and pass the turn. They're going to attack with a Fairy Seer. I'm going to assume that means they have a Ninja, so I'm just going to blow it up. We play an island, hard cast a Ninja, and we're going to counter that. I guess I could just wait till my turn and decide if I wanted to blow it up because they actually aren't dead on board, but they would with the Percussionist, and I think it was probably fine anyway. We are on the play, and this one looks pretty dang good. We haven't actually had a Burning Tree Emissary into Rally, or I guess in this case, Cavalry start. So if we're able to do that into like a turn 3 Bushwhacker, seems pretty good. We are against more red. Of course, this not being Rally does mean we lose out on 4 damage, so it's a very big drawback, obviously. Attack with the Percussionist, they Lava Dart it. We get a Bushwhacker. Well, that's what I wanted to play next turn anyway. So we will just use that one instead. Plus we get to Epicure first, so we can be attacking for 11, depending on the interaction they have. Faithless Looting. Snacker and a Temper, I assume we'll take out an Emissary. Synth. Play an Epicure, and then we'll kick a Bushwhacker, try to hit for 8. They could Lava Dart, but I don't think them losing a land here is quite what they want to be doing. So they take it down to 10, play a Flame Breather. Another Cavalry, I would have loved just a Bolt for this. I could go for a Bushwhacker, but between the Dart and another Bolt, I'd probably only be getting in for about 4, losing a bunch of our guys. So I think I'm going to Synth, see what that turns up. Then maybe Cavalry, if nothing else. If we get like a Mountain. And then next turn I could Bushwhacker for even more. I mean, I could still attack here. I don't mind trading one of these for 3 damage, but the chances of them killing 1 or 2 of them is pretty high. I don't know. I mean, if they had to sack a land for that, it'd be pretty decent, so maybe I should have just gone for it. But they do Lava Dart a Bushwhacker on the end step anyway. They play a Gutter Snipe. I mean, if their last 2 cards are Lightning Bolt and Fire Blast, they could just kill us right here, which would be a little outrageous. Kind of feels like they're doing that math right now. They play an Epicure instead. We get another Synth. We'll play that. We could turn up like a 1-drop or a removal spell for the Gutter Snipe would be good. Or just a Mountain. If I kick a Bushwhacker, they block. They probably don't block with the Gutter Snipe. They could double Lava Dart. They go to 4. They do lose 2 lands, and their Lava Darts are not going in our face. Of course, we just take 6 damage off of that incidentally. Doesn't feel like that's going to do enough, so I'm going to crack a Synth. We get another Synth. I guess I'll play that, though. Now I can't turn anything up that's relevant. Pass the turn. They grab the prize of Fiery Temper as their last 2 cards, which is going to be 11 damage by itself, which means I'm pretty sure we just died at these Lava Darts. Yep, we do. Is this a bad matchup for us, or are we just getting unlucky / not playing right? Because it feels like it shouldn't be this bad. Well, maybe we should bring in Relics, see how that helps. Because I thought we had a pretty good start, and then they just had a couple creatures, and we didn't draw any of our removal, to be fair. This is a 1-lander, but this is kind of crazy if we do get it, because we have Epicure into Burning Tree, Tomb Raider, which I guess is not actually the most insane. It's still really good, but if we just don't get there, hand doesn't do anything, I think we're going to keep it. I have a few extra draws between the Blood Token and the Synth. Searing Blaze is good, having a removal spell for one of their guys. Even if we have nothing here, yeah, like Tomb Raider's not bad. I don't know. We will probably fall short. Trade the Epicures. Plot a Highway Robbery. Oh my gosh, we get the Rally, so if we hit a land drop, these are going to be crazy good. If we don't, it's not going to matter. We'll play a Synth. Bushwhacker. They cast Robbery. Fiery Temper. Takes out Tomb Raider. They plot another Robbery. Come on, give me a Mountain. Alright, I'm going to Blood Token away. I mean, Raphael's not going to be great because he's going to come after all of this. And he just dies to a Bolt. He was one I thought about taking out last time. Or I did take out and I just didn't. We get a Relic. Whatever. They play a Gutter Snipe. Highway Robbery. Fiery Temper. If we got a land, I could at least Searing Blaze this guy, but I guess it wasn't meant to be. Well, it was a little disappointing. I will say Raphael seems okay. Like I said, against like a Demir opponent or any black deck where they're relying on board wipes to deal with us, having 3 toughness can be a real big boon. make it so this survives all of those wipes, especially since it also dodges Cast Down, and Snuff Out is not something they're going to want to keep in post-sideboard. That seems like probably the best reason to play him. Mechanized Ninja Cavalry was decent. I mean, it was just 2/1/1s, but I do think having more cards that are just 2/1/1s in this deck is not necessarily a bad idea. Then again, our lands was pretty rough, so maybe I need to play like 19 if we're going to do something, have this many 2-drops. I'm not exactly sure. In any case, thank you so much for watching, and thank you to my supporters, including my $10 and up monthly supporters like Howard Granger, Raphael Rodriguez, JDNPX, Adam Cadmon, Apple Beta Pie, Halcaz, Cody Cowell, and Sty. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you all next time.